All right, all right. We're ready to get it started, y'all. All right. Play my theme music. WHGE 95.3 FM. What? Oh, shoot. Pull that out and put it back in, please. Sure. All right, Facebook Live friends. I know you hear that theme song. That's right.
What that mean? What does theme mean?
That means it's time for the open eye.
All right now. I like that.
Thank you.
All right.
Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm your host, Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist, here to open your eye and awaken your mind. That's right, right here on WHGE 95.3 FM. Oh, in case you didn't know, yes, we are Facebook Live. I gotta turn that screen down because I'm egotistical and I keep looking over at myself. Okay, look. Today, as usual, I always warn you. Oh, I didn't hook up my phone yet, but you can call in anyway. I always warn you that if you got something to say, if you want to dispute anything we say, hey, get your heart up, call me. I have no problem with it. I will soon be joined by my partner in consciousness, the intellectual surgeon, Mr. Nsoromma, and later on we will also be joined by the beautiful Lorrine Vlard, who will take us down the organic path with Lorrine. The Open Eye is brought to you by the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, the builders and founders of the Pearl Center, the veteran-specific building, for the veteran-specific apartment building, especially for veterans.
The views and opinions expressed on the Open Eye are those of the host, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM or our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to belong to any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual.
That is one of my favorite tunes by Wilmington's favorite son, Clifford Brown, called Coronado. Yeah. You know I like that jazz, huh? Yeah. Speaking of jazz, tomorrow at 1 p.m. right here on the WHGE 95.3 FM, we will have a very special show in recognition of Jazz Appreciation Month, which is April. We've done a couple of things for Jazz Appreciation Month, but tomorrow at 1 p.m., you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. We are going to have two of the most knowledgeable gentlemen on jazz history to ever get on the airwaves, and that is Mr. Larry Williams and Mr. Bob Flemings. Make sure you tune in. Also, as I always remind you, you don't have to wait until Saturday at 11 a.m. to tune in to WHGE 95.3 FM. We have a full week of programming for you. We start with Sunday. On Sundays, we have, and of course this is daily, Sundays through Saturday, our illustrious leader, Mr. Harmon Carey, at 6 p.m. with History, Facts, and Reflections. That is followed by award-winning host, Mr. Lorrine Vlard, with Fixing Addiction. If you have a problem with addiction, or you know someone, you want to tune in and catch Raheem's advice. He will lead you to the path to recovery. On Wednesdays, now it was the first and third Wednesday of the month, but such a great response to Miss Bonnie Williams that she is now going to be on every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. On Thursdays, and I think will be every other Thursday, will be Healthy Kids Don't Smoke with the beautiful Ebony Zavia. On Fridays from 5 to 6, the Linwood Jackson radio show. Linwood brings such a state of programming and knowledge and what have you. You don't want to miss Linwood. That will be followed, of course, by, as I said earlier, every day, our illustrious leader, Mr. Harmon Carey, with Black History, Facts, and Reflections. That will be followed immediately by, once again, award-winning host, Mr. Lorrine Vlard, from 7 to 8 p.m. with Stop Smoking, No Joking. Of course, on Saturdays at 11 a.m., hey, your Open Eye team bringing you knowledge, opening your eyes from everything to our condition, to our health, everything you can think about across the board, and how and why we should know our history and fight against global white supremacy. Immediately following the Open Eye is Good Health is Wealth, hosted by Mr. Lorrine Vlard. Yes, indeed. At 4 on Saturdays, it is Mr. Ed Johnson's Sports Zone. You don't want to miss it. Ed is very knowledgeable about every aspect of sport. Every sport you can name, Ed got the report for you. Don't miss it. And immediately following Ed on Saturdays, the Weekend Review with Mr. Alan Lawrence. If you want to know what's going on in the city, make sure you tune in to Mr. Alan Lawrence on the Weekend Review. This is WHGE 95.3 FM. All right. I see Sherry. Sherry is always the first one in. Good morning, Sherry. Good to see you. The rest of my team hasn't gotten here yet. Excuse me while I take off my jacket and show off my Open Eye shirt. Yeah. Yeah, what's up, bro? Yeah, hey, Facebook Live. My man Nsoromma just arrived. You dig, y'all. Yeah, buddy. Get in there so you can see on camera. Brother, there you go. Brother,
it's your boy in the building, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, representing 95.3 FM because we do this all
the time. Yo, these are going to be available.
Open Eye Radio. Oh, yeah, most definitely. T-shirts is in effect.
Yeah.
They look nice too, my brother.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
And like I said, we see Sherry Bryson already enjoying us. And
what's up, Sherry? How you? You good?
Oh, she good. She good. That's my own girl from down in Georgia.
Oh,
she always on the case.
Worldwide.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got to get a share on here. Let's see here. And I'm gonna get back on the live programming.
Right.
Back on the air. We coming, y'all. Give us a minute. We just want to make sure we got them straight. Yeah, buddy, I meant to bring my books. For y'all that didn't know, I am a published author. I am the author of 3 books. Most recently, Explicit Notions of a Born Rebel. And my man over here doing this thing.
95.3 FM Open Eye Radio every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Tune in. Special guest, Miss Vlard, talking to health advocate. You think what I'm saying?
Miss Vlard.
Miss Vlard. She always
she always
I'm super ghetto. Say it again.
Miss Lorrine Vlard. The beautiful
Miss
Vlard.
Vlard.
Yeah.
Vlard. All right, I got you, babe.
All right.
What? That's right. Tune in every Saturday, 11 to 12 p.m.
Yeah.
Open Eye Radio, 95.7, 95.3, 95.3
Trying to get my phone straight, y'all.
WHGE.
Like I said, that is Clifford Brown's Coronado right here on the Open Eye. Clifford Brown, Wilmington's favorite son. All right. What we got going? You know, well, we always got a lot going for you this week. Of course, we are big on educating you. I don't know if you ever heard of General Smedley Butler. General Smedley Butler. Probably one of the greatest generals, one of the most honest generals in the American military. Now, as early as 1935, General Smedley recognized war for what it is. And he came right out and said, look, war is a racket. It's possibly the oldest, easily the most profitable, surely the most vicious. It is the only one international in scope. Is the only one in which the profits are reckoned in dollars and the losses in lives. A racket is best described, I believe, as something that is not what it seems to be to the majority of people. Only a small inside group knows what it is really about. It is conducted for the benefit of the very few at the expense of the very many. Out of war, few people make huge fortunes. That's from General Smedley B. Butler. He's a U.S. Marine Corps general. He was thoroughly hated by rich people, believe that. Yeah, General Smedley wasn't no joke. And he told it like it is. You know, one of the things that I mentioned is what Dr. Clark teaches us, Dr. John Henry Clark, is that we as a people, and that's African people the world over, have allowed global white supremacy to convince us that we cannot manage a state, meaning we cannot run a country. Of course, that's a fallacy, because history shows that not only were we able to run a country, but when we were running the world, it was in the best shape it had ever been. Ancient Kemet went 3,000 years without a war. 3,000 years without. That's state management at its best, at its absolute best, okay? Here's the thing. America is 240 years old. Of those 240 years old, of those 240 years,
right,
235 years at least, America has been at war. That is not state management. That is not state management. That is poor state management. What it is you have a bunch of psychopaths running the country who realize that they could get rich off of war. And that's exactly what they're doing.
War is right, really the biggest business America has going on for them.
Oh, yeah.
Besides the independent companies that's running in America. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
The government lives to cause war.
That's what it does.
For the simple fact that, you know, like Korea, for instance. We owe Korea so much money. Trump know that, so he might as well say, listen, we go war, we don't got to pay him.
No, we ain't got to pay him. I mean, well, what we do is, well, Korea, of course, because of, you know, the Cold War, is split into North Korea and South Korea.
Right.
You know, and South Korea's economy basically really depends on what they can sell to us and what we're indebted to them for.
Right.
You know, so, you know, like you said, you know, we got bases in Korea, we got bases in Japan, we got bases in Germany, we got bases all over the world, Army bases, naval bases, Air Force bases, all over the world. I had to count one time, I don't have it here in front of me,
Because when we go to war, and when we go to war with these other countries and stuff like that, they say America never leaves.
That's right. That's right. Once we come in your country, you know, if you got some oil,
I'll come over your house.
Yeah,
I'll come over your house to get some sugar, and all that.
You don't never leave. You know,
Yo,
worse than roaches.
messy.
Yeah, worse than roaches. You do that. You know, and that's what America does. See, this is not a democracy. This is empire. That's what you call empire. They come in your country. See, the thing is, America see a country that got some oil, and,
right.
And they'll tell you, they say, oh, y'all need some democracy. So we're gonna come over there and, you know, shut down your dictatorship or your duly elected government and bring y'all some American democracy so we can take your
taxes
resources
without representation.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And that's the same thing America fought against. Ah, you damn. Oh, we get this started right here early. We get it started early right here on the open eye. We ain't playing with you.
WHGE.
Yeah, we don't play fight, baby. We bring it right to you.
Put your hands up.
Yeah.
Yaga.
Yeah, because you know what?
I'm at the crib, go to start my whip. My whip was like, what? I was like, I was there for about 20 minutes going. It finally kicked in. I got another car.
Oh yeah, well I know you got another car. What you bring, the bug?
No, I got BMW.
Oh,
bulletproof windows. The car park got killed in.
damn.
I went and bought one just like that. My man had it for sale. He wanted $4,000 for it. I talked to him at $3,200. I went and bought that.
I heard that. Heard that. Yo, what's your latest CD, brother? Because we still on Facebook.
Oh yeah, masterpiece. So I can't know. I can't see. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't even know we still on.
Yeah, we still on there, bro.
Oh, what's up, Facebook? We still on here. We still doing the dirt. Oh, see, I get this on some good angle for the joy for both for everybody.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No.
Bring that mic over here so you can tune into the other people on the side.
No, we got one person on there, but I know
Fun for
but I still look this dog on phone be acting crazy. So I haven't been able to share it to my page yet. But I will do so. You know, I'm gonna have to start this phone.
Remember that every Saturday, Facebook, listen, the Open Eye Radio, educating is our mission. You know what I'm saying? It's more than radio head. You're getting information that's valuable to the structure of your being. You dig me?
Yeah.
Nsoromma in the building.
Okay, now I got it on my page too. Yeah.
So how you get to that?
I put it on in the search part. I put it on WHGE 95.3, and then that came up. Then I went down until I found the broadcast, and then I hit share, so it go on my page too. That's where look, got a comment from Sherry. No different from England. In fact, everything America does in wars, see Patrice Gibbs doing it, in wars comes from England. They're taking over. Yeah, hit that up there. Yeah, and that gets their page. And scroll down until you see us. There you go. Hit share. Cool. I'll get us back on the air here. Yeah. That's Whitmore Salad Scatting, in case y'all didn't know.
He from here, right?
Nah, he's from New Orleans.
New Orleans?
Yeah, but he been here.
He was been here before at the Grand Opera House.
Yeah.
Who's the jazz player that's from here?
That was we got a couple. The late Clifford Brown, of course.
Clifford Brown, and somebody else too.
Len Winchester.
I ain't know him.
Yeah, of course, Len Winchester passed in the year I was born, 1961. He accidentally killed himself. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow. I gotta remind you, tomorrow on WHGE 95.3 at 1 p.m. We will have a special program in recognition of Jazz Appreciation Month. That program, like I said earlier, will have two of the most knowledgeable gentlemen on jazz that come on the air. They'll ever be on the airwaves, and that's Bob Flemings and Mr. Larry Williams. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. That's what it is. Look, let me tell you something, bro.
What?
Let me tell you. I got a few statements to go over here before I get into this bigger thing. All right, ponder these statements. This is, okay, let me do this first. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Yeah. You know, the wise who refuse to rule should be prepared to suffer the rule of idiots.
Trump.
Yeah. The orange disaster, bigger than big.
45. The orange disaster. Listen.
Orange disaster.
Yo, man, he been getting ready to go down too. You know that. And New York has finally got his documents.
Oh, they got them.
Yeah. And New York is the ones that's New York's the ones that's really wanting to really dig into his private life and all his finances. And now that they got the information, he ain't even worried about New York.
Yeah, well, he should, because
he should. That's what I was saying.
The feds, of course, are after the information, but he's suing the federal government to block them from subpoenaing his financial records. You ever heard of such crap in your life?
Could we do that?
No.
Like the government pull up on us, you're a drug dealer or whatever, and you go, yo, instead of arresting me, I'm going to sue y'all.
Yeah. You can't have my financial records.
You can't get none of my information. I'm going to sue y'all. That's against the law, right?
You know, well, as a regular citizen, that's bad. That's crazy as a regular citizen. I wouldn't blame you for doing it. But as the sitting president of the United States, to sue your own government to keep from finding out what kind of crooked crap you've been putting down.
Right.
Orange disaster.
I'm telling you.
That's it. People who elect corrupt politicians, imposters, thieves, and traitors are not victims, but accomplices.
Of course. They help put them in there.
Go figure. Go figure.
As long as they get their little bit of it. You said you was going to put this building over here for me, right?
Right.
Yo, that's messy, man.
Yeah, but you know, you cannot trust the orange disaster. No way in hell you could trust the orange disaster to do anything, because anybody that worked for him before he got in office, they had to sue him after they did the work to get their money.
Oh yeah, because he'll say, this ain't shiny enough.
Yeah. You know, this is straight con.
Yo, man, yeah, exactly. When you're dealing with a con man and a con artist, and he's running our democracy and our presidency, I mean, that's why the cops is doing what they're doing. That's why it's getting real radical out here now. Now we as people of color really have to stick together to help get this guy out of there and put somebody in there that can actually help the cause of being straightening out America, instead of putting America in more, you know, in a much more frenzy. You know what I'm saying?
You know, because like I said before, he is not a president. He is an inspirational speaker for white supremacy. Right. That's what he is.
Throwing hand signals and all that while you in the presidency up on the...
What kind of crap is that?
Yo, man, that is the most ignorant...
It's messy,
man. Messy.
Now, another kind that he's running in favor of the fossil fuel hustlers, meaning the oil companies, is that global warming and, you know, the changes brought on and damage done by oil, by emissions from oil and what have you, that, you know, well, in spite of what the scientists say, oh no, it's just false. Let me tell you, I got a thing here, Glacier Danger, all right, that tells you the damage that emissions from oil and what have you does. Okay, melting glaciers aren't just a future problem. They're already causing problems all over the world right now.
Right.
There are about 200,000 glaciers throughout the world, and communities are dependent on them for survival. People don't realize how important glaciers are.
And it's melting, like the glacier caps are actually melting more than ever before in the history of the planet. Right. Now with them glaciers melting at such a fast rate, it's rising the water level.
Right.
And it's yo, it's really messy.
It is. Well, let me tell you how messy it is, bro. Glaciers in Nsoromma Mountains in Africa protected the region from malaria for generations. The glaciers once created microclimates where malaria-carrying mosquitoes couldn't survive. The locals have a saying, God is in the ice. They realize how important the glaciers are. The glaciers were once so big, they fed the Nile. But now they're melting and the region is being plagued by malaria again. Over the last century, those glaciers have shrunk by almost 85%. And by 2030, they could be completely gone, just like you were saying, bro.
That's incredible, man.
Just like you were saying. In Switzerland, glacial runoff powers the country's hydroelectric plants. These plants provide more than half of the country's electricity. As the glaciers have melted, it's creating a surplus of hydropower. Now, that might seem like a good thing for now, but in years later, most glaciers are expected to be gone, like you said, and the country will have to replace that power with something else.
And they've been really working on that right now. Like, if you have a home and you're a homeowner, I recommend that you go get some solar panels on your roof.
Yes.
And go, or on your property, or somewhere where it's alternative electricity.
Right.
And also, when you get the solar panels, did you know that once you say your house used $200 worth of electric a month, and your solar panel kicks out $400 a month, that the electric company will pay you for that extra $200. They'll give you $200. So you help supplying the electric company. Electric company now becomes
like your partner in your
instead of just instead of you paying electric, you can get so much electric built up from your solar that you won't have an electric bill. So that's what I recommend.
Say that again. Say that again for our listeners.
You can get solar panels, whereas though if you're a homeowner, and once your home regulates the solar amount of solar that the home will use, the actual amount that the solar is generating is usually more than the home uses, and that difference will be paid back to the homeowner.
Right, by the
electric companies.
Getting education here, y'all. Look, over in South America, high up in the Andes Mountains, the glacier runoff supports the country's population during time of drought. But in recent decades, the melting ice has created a massive influx of water. New lakes are appearing where they never existed before, and some of those lakes are overflowing routinely, hitting communities with floods and landslides.
That's messy too.
Right. Almost 100% of the world's tropical glaciers are in the Andes Mountains, but they have shrunk nearly 50% in just 40 years. In Central Asia, there are so many glaciers in the mountains, the region is known as the third pole. The glacial runoff feeds 10 of the Earth's largest rivers. It's the primary source of water for nearly 2 billion people.
Yeah.
At least 1/3 of these glaciers will melt by the end of the century. And if the emissions, you heard me mention that before, if emissions continue on their current path, another third will disappear. The extreme runoff will flood rivers all over Asia, destroy crops, and cause massive landslides. The melting will devastate the planet's most populous continent. By 2100, most of the world's glaciers are expected to vanish.
That's 2 years.
No, that's 2100.
Oh, 21. I was like,
we might not be here.
Oh, we might not be here. Our children's children.
Half of the glaciers will vanish and the effects will ripple across the globe on the chaos. Well, we'll have far too much water in the near term and far too little when we need it most. This is the Open Eye.
95.3 FM. Yeah, that's messy. And all the Facebook live tuned inners, listen, every Saturday 11 to 12. If you got any questions, anything to say, call us up. Don't hesitate to feed us with some knowledge that you have that, or something that you may want to, you know, talk about or discuss with us, and we'll do the research and find out exactly what it is and the real truth about what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Mr. Gibbs in the building. Nsoromma in the building.
Yes, you know, like my man always say, we more than radio.
Most definitely.
We more than radio. Oh, we give you some jazz, we give you some music, this, that, and the other, you know. But what you're gonna get here on the Open Eye, you're gonna get an education. You're gonna find out some things you never even thought about before.
Right.
Because how many of you thought about what I just told you about glaciers?
Right.
You know, that's where. So no. Oh, and we ain't play fighting. And we
sneaking you and everything.
Yep.
We got bricks. we the warriors.
That's word.
Come out to play.
And we ain't scared of nobody.
Oh, most definitely.
No, we ain't scared of nobody. We ain't scared to bring you that knowledge.
Most definitely.
I'm right at you with it.
Knowledge is power, and knowledge is king.
Understand that.
That's the first thing you have to really put into yourself. Oh yeah, and the album drop, Nsoromma the Masterpiece, is now streaming every streaming service, every platform.
Spotify.
Nsoromma. Check me. 95.3
Title. It's all over. It's all over the place.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Hey. Oh, okay. All right. Go here watching this. All right, brother. That's our illustrious leader, Mr. Carey, dropping in for a hot minute. Big ups. Man. What's up, Gary? Boo, Gary, we see you on there, brother. That's what you know, Gary.
Which Gary?
Right here.
Oh yeah.
Big ups, brother. Thanks for joining.
Y'all good looking out.
That's right.
Yo, calling all the Facebooks that's tuning in. Come on, peep us out. Get the knowledge that you need. Make that day better.
Remember that song on 95.3 FM? It's Rambling by Ornette Coleman. Not for the uninitiated. Yeah. Okay. Here we go back. Well, one of Wilmington's most well-known sons, Mr. Joe Biden, has thrown his hat in the ring for president. What do you think about that, Nsoromma? Former Vice President Joe Biden.
I think that would be a nice move, especially if he can bring Obama back for vice president.
Good luck with that.
I mean,
that would be
just invert that. You know what I'm saying? That'd be. But still, they was
the same team in there.
Right. I still say they were still soldiers of what the agenda is for America, because I mean, having Obama in office, like he didn't really do what I expected him to do. Like Trump right now, he don't care about nobody. He know he's the man, and I am the man.
Yeah.
And when Obama was in office, you know, he can't do as much as what Trump's doing because of his skin color, and it would have been a worse outcome for him because of his skin color, for him to try to do most of the stuff that, you know, like changing some of these constitutions.
Oh.
The main thing about the Constitution, they really don't apply to us because they put them in effect for rich and healthy, rich, wealthy plantation owners to, you know, to keep control of their stock or whatever they had.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Economy
right. And that wasn't designed for people of color.
Oh no, actually it wasn't. Not only, well, initially it was just for landowners, because only landowners could vote when they first put their country together, when they first organized the country and organized, you know, their constitution.
Right.
If you weren't a landowner, you couldn't vote. You had no say if you weren't a landowner.
See, I ain't even know that. So you just schooled me on that.
Yeah. That you know, eventually changed, and the vote became for everybody.
Right.
You know, but even that, they checked that by putting in the electoral college. So if somebody, you know, won too many votes that they didn't want in there, the powers that be, you know, they had the electoral college delegates voting who they wanted to vote in. That's why the electoral college needed to go. Now, as for Joe Biden, I got some problems with former Vice President and former Senator Joe Biden.
Oh yeah, a couple of my buddies, you know, back in 1980, 80, 81 to 89, 91, something like that, that 10-year span, Joe Biden was like a detective in Wilmington.
Yeah.
And he was going around getting and rounding up as many of our African men as possible.
Well, he was a senator from 1972 until he became vice president. This will be the third time that he ran for president. Okay. Now, when he was senator during the Clinton years, right, this is where the real problem comes in. He was co-author, and pushed the legislation for the 94 crime bill. Okay, the 94 crime bill is responsible for mass incarceration. Right, the 94 crime bill that, you know, was, you know, directly the cause, which Clinton, of course, lobbied for and signed into office. You know, Hillary calling us predators, so was Joe Biden calling, you know, young black offenders predators, and they had to go, and 3-strike laws and all that, which was, you know, the direct cause for mass incarceration. Okay, and Joe Biden was the author of, you know, he was the author of that bill. Right. So he owes a lot of responsibility for that. And of course, you know, nobody want to talk about that. Guess what, Joe? We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about that. You know, also don't forget what he did with Anita Hill. Anita Hill, who testified against Uncle Clarence Thomas when he was up for the Supreme Court. It was Joe Biden that really berated Anita Hill. Okay, and he was really directly responsible for a lot of the goodwill that Uncle Clarence Thomas got, and for disparaging and damaging Anita Hill's credibility. Anita Hill was very credible when she testified against Uncle Clarence Thomas before he got on the Supreme Court. Right. You know, but Joe Biden, he took her down. He took her down in the hearing against. And the crazy thing about it is, at that time, he was a Democrat. So he's got some other problems, because which, you know, I have mixed feelings about even bringing this part up, because I was against school busing myself. But he was vehemently against school integration. Okay, when that issue came up, he was one of the strongest voices against school integration. Joe Biden, he was hardcore against it. You know, I mean, like, during the reason why they first of all wanted to segregate is because all the high schools that was black had all the best athletes, all the everything that was competitive. I don't care if it was a spelling bee. Black schools was winning. Yes. I mean, astronomically, from a broad distance of win. It wasn't just a little nip of a win. It was a vast win. The gap was so big that they had to go, okay, we can't, these guys are amazing. Right. They was looking at us like we're amazing. Basketball, track, reading, all the things that they thought they had up on us, they seen that it physically wasn't being done. Right. And that's where the segregation came in. So desegregation came in. Where, and our people fed into that. Right. And instead of us going, no, I'm going to stay at PS. Right. I'm going to stay at Howard. I'm going to stay at Wilmington. Right. I'm going to stay at Wilmington High. And now most of them schools are either gone. Yeah. Because there is no high school in the city. There's no black high school. No black high school in the city. Right. That is unless it's a charter school or something. And then that's even worse. Yeah. Oh, you know, they do worse things to charter schools right now. We don't even want to you know, because of her black nationalism and what have you. My mother at that time made a lot of enemies in the black community, because, you know, the leaders and powers that be within the black community, were strongly in favor of, you know, school busing and integration and desegregation and all this. Right, thinking it'll make them better, thinking they could fit in, and you know, and confusing quality with white. Right. My mother said, look, we have been turning out quality students, college-ready students with substandard equipment and resources.
Right.
We need to do is we do not need to desegregate the students. We need to desegregate the resources. We can teach our own.
Right.
You know, and she made a lot of enemies behind that.
Of course, when you're going against the grain, I mean, anytime you go against the grain, you go down a one-way street.
Yeah.
It's going this way and you want to go that way.
Right.
It's either a car coming and you're going to call it a catastrophe. I mean, or you might get by that just that one block.
Right.
You know?
Might.
But, I mean, anytime it's going against the grain, going against the political beings of power in the high power places, you are going to be attacked.
Oh, you can believe that. You can bet that, you know. And I tell you what, the crazy thing is, like I said, was that so many in the Black community fed into that ideal that we needed, you know, and even, you know, they were even dishonest about it. I'm talking about some of my own, you know, elders out there right now, that this is what Dr. King would have wanted. He would have wanted it. Well, okay, Dr. King was in favor of integration of public services, having access to shopping centers and restaurants and theaters and this, that, and the other. One thing Dr. King was against was integrating schools and having our oppressors teach our children. Don't get that mixed.
Right. I'm going to send a shout out to the Sahaya, Kiana. Yo, good way to tune in and check us out. You know what I'm saying? Support is needed. Everybody that know us and know me and know Mr. Gibbs, yo, tune in. Don't be playing. You dig me? WHGE 95.3 FM. Yaga!
All right. They don't see the break, brother. Yeah, big us, Kiana. Yeah, Saeed. Yeah. Oh, Rob Bay in the house. Yeah, buddy. Rock Bay High, the juggernaut. Yeah, I see you, brother. That's heard. Man, you
yo,
know,
DJ Hub, what's good, my man?
What's up? What's up?
Yo, GRB in the building. Hey, yo, good looking.
Yep.
Keep hitting us up. You know what I'm saying?
That's word.
Give us that feedback.
I see Sherry up on the case here. She said
Sherry
she posted, she said she posted about buying speech from back then on her page.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my home girl, man.
We gonna go to your page and check that out, Sherry.
Sherry from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Shout out to you. We're always up on the knowledge, sister. I know that.
Stone Mountain in the building.
Yep, you know, I'll be giving you a call this evening, and thank you for, you know, joining us and for sharing the knowledge.
Hey, yo, Dion Pinkett, good looking. Stay tuning in with us. Nikki Naylor, yo.
All right. The Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. It's something else I got to get to here, brother. I got to find
What's happening, brother? Talk to me.
Oh, wait a minute. I got it right here. It was the sister. Wait. It was the sister. I think she was in Houston. Just give me a second, y'all. Oh, yep. Houston principal. The Houston principal. Oh, she made a lot of people mad, Hoss.
You know what? I ain't see that. I ain't hear nothing about it or nothing.
She said, and she's a black woman too. She said, no more do-rags, curlers, sagging pants at her school will be worn by parents. All right.
Hold on, by parents?
Yeah. You come into a meeting, and the main thing she wants is that, you know, her name is Carlotta Outley Brown, and she's getting tough on parents, and she wants them to set an example in appearance when they come to her campus through a new dress code. She don't want parents come showing up for meetings. It's one thing you drive by school and drop your kid off.
Right.
I don't care what you wear. But you come to the meetings or get called in about your child at the school, she wants you to show up presentable and set a good example. Don't be wearing no bonnet. Don't come in your house slippers and pajamas. Wait a minute. No, I gotta go right here. You know, I know she made a lot of people mad. Like one brother got on there and said that, you know, well, maybe her sister wore a bonnet because she couldn't afford to get her hair done this week.
Right.
Okay, I could let that go. But if you come show up in your pajamas and house slippers, that means you left the house without washing your ass.
Yeah.
You know,
Listen, man, listen. I'm a true believer of you never know what a person going through.
I understand.
All right. Now, within never knowing what a person going through, you don't have to really make a whole paragraph and make it a notice to everyone, because everyone's not like that. You pull an individual aside, you say, listen, it's a more personal situation. You know what I'm saying? It's more personal when you say to the individual instead of writing a letter and giving it to everybody that come in or posting it on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, and you know who it applied to type thing. That's just ignorant to me. I'd rather for the person
I feel you, but the thing is, she had, you know, just a whole group of parents coming in the house slippers and the pants sagging and, you know, looking unpresentable. You know, and like I said, it's one thing you dropping your kid off at school and you're gonna keep on going. But have you ever been to one of them a white school meeting or one of them meetings? Yep.
They do the same thing.
They do the same thing. And they need to get that letter too.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. You never know what a person. If they made it there, right? If they made it there, they care.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line to me. If the parent made it to this conference or whatever it is for their child, I don't care what they look like, what they smell like.
Right.
I do, but I don't. I'm glad you're here to address this fact for your kid. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You know, because you know what, and here's the thing. You know, I know what they do. You know, in other communities and what have you. Of course, my primary concern is my community. Right. And I used to mentor and tutor, you know, at one of the schools and what have you. Right. All right. Now I remember standing outside the school and I would see these parents roll up like that, you know, with their, you know, bonnets on and their this, that, and the other. Like I said, you coming by to pick up your kid. But when you come into a meeting, your kid is looking at you. You got to be presentable. And when you show up, okay, I can remember this one parent showing up. And she was asked to come in about a problem that her child was having, her son was having. So she asked me, well, where was this meeting at? Okay, it's on the 3rd floor down the long end of the hall. Right. Oh, I'm not going all the way up there and see that teacher. Okay, then you're going to go see your kid in Paris. Right. Or in Gander Hill or wherever it's going to end up being. You know? So if you care and you care enough to show up, all I'm saying is care enough to show up. And be presentable. And be presentable, right. And not embarrass your child. Right. Because then that's going to lead into another problem. Man, I saw your mom, man. Yeah, right, they ranking on him at school. And I mean, kids is brutal. That's right. That's right. So, I'm in strong agreement with a lot that she's saying as far as showing up being presentable. I just don't really have a problem with her saying that. And I understand, like you said, that you don't know what people's going through. Right. And I know some of these parents, they might be in, some financial situation and what have you, and so maybe you can't get your hair done. Well, I'm all right with that. If you got to put a hat on, well, you put a hat on. You know what I'm saying? But at least, I know you got something other to wear than go pajama bottoms and them house slippers. Because it just don't look good. And then, I'm going to sit on the other side of the room from you because I'm suspect at how you might smell. Right. And they already look at us and put us on a lower pedestal anyway. So don't help them. No. Basically, that's the bottom line. Please, don't help them make us look bad. Right. And don't embarrass your child. Right. That's just some good, strong advice for you from the Open Eye. Yaga. WHGE 95.3 FM. Mr. Gibbs. We continue to do this, you know what I'm saying? Because Open Eye is to open your eye. So call in. What's the number, Pat? Give us some calls, and you got questions, you got something you want to ask us, hit us up. We won't put you on the air. That's right. It's at 302-442-1661. That's 302-442-1661. Don't, hey, let me warn you. Don't come here stepping. Don't come here stepping because we will sock it to you. That's right. We will sock it to you. And just arriving in the house is the beautiful Miss Lorrine Vlard. Yeah, she will be coming at you with the organic tag with Lorrine. In just a few minutes, we're gonna give her time to get her ducks in a row, get herself straight.
Well, thank you for time.
Okay. Let me see. I got a comment here from Sherry. She said about what we just talked about, and she said she heard she's only doing that because of the school being in an area that has more affluent neighbors. Yeah, I feel you, Sherry. But like I said, I really feel you, but don't embarrass your children. That's one of my main things. And of course, as usual, we got something else to deal with here before we let Ms. Vlard on the air, and we're gonna be coming to that. Come on back over, bro. But we're gonna get with this right quick. All right. WHGE 95.3 FM. All right, Howard University was founded in 1867. Okay. Recently, some colonizers moved near Howard University. And when they did, they thought like, hey, you know what? Here's a nice little place where we can walk our dog right here on the grounds of Howard University.
I heard about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they're pooper scoopers and leaving their dog poop all over Howard University's campus.
Unhealthy.
First of all, they would have been locked up if it was any other white university, period.
You can believe that.
And there's no question about it, right? Harvard.
Wait a minute, they would have been done. Now Howard is a private institution nestled in the heart of an urban city. And they shared a long-standing positive relationship with the evolving community for more than 150 years. All right. Now, here's what these arrogant colonizers said when complaints came in about them bringing their nasty little dogs on Howard University's campus. Yeah, well, if they don't like us walking our dogs here, why don't they move the campus? The campus been there since 1867, and your arrogant ass gonna come in there talking about move the campus? Are you crazy?
First of all, that was a KKK member that was saying that.
Yeah.
Period. I don't care. That's what he was, and he need to be arrested. Period.
Next time they catch him, because it is a private institution.
Exactly.
So it's private property, and you ain't got no business, you dirty colonizer, bringing your little nasty ass dog on there to poop. Okay.
It's unhealthy.
It's unhealthy.
Right.
It's unhealthy. So Howard University president banned the residents from walking their dogs on the campus.
That's right.
And he has the right to do that.
Don't even come over here then.
Don't even bring your stuff.
You don't even come over here.
No, you don't need to come over here. See the mess we got put up with, y'all.
Yo, that's only a black topic too.
Oh yeah.
That's not. It's like certain things that is black and this is white.
Yeah. Yep. When they
that was a black thing.
That was a black thing. That was a black thing. And, Ms. Vlard let them know once again it's unhealthy.
It is. And they have signs posted.
Right.
Yeah.
Saying it's really unhealthy in
Absolutely.
whatever neighborhood.
Yeah.
Pick your scoop up.
Right. We'll get it thrown on your front door.
I wouldn't have no problem doing that. I go put on my heavy gloves and leave it right on your front door.
Black, set it on fire, and come out and stuff.
Yeah, like we used to
see?
do. Yeah, we used to do that.
Don't bring that back, please.
No,
they don't want our generation. They don't want our generation in the building.
No.
They want to keep us as calm as possible.
I'm going to talk about our generation too, right after we hear from Ms. Vlard.
Yeah, come on over. Take the slide.
Say hi to everyone. I miss you guys.
Yeah, how you doing? Right now, you just on Facebook Live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go, right there. But my man over there, Nsoromma, still in the building. That's right.
Okay, you guys gonna ask some questions.
Get
the title out with this. I feel it coming already with this subject.
All right.
I feel it coming.
WHGE 95.3 FM. The name of that song is Early Summer by Patrice Gibbs. And when you hear that song, you know what time it is.
I love it.
It's time to travel down the organic path with Lorrine.
Makes me think I'm on the island. Hello, everyone. Okay, today is National Prescription Drug Take Back Day. That's right. They made it official April 27th. Okay, this is a day when we can all help prevent drug misuse and abuse. Your opioids,
Right.
please, when you all of it, please put it away. But CVS and Aetna decided to partner up and actually facilitate this by putting, have certain locations, certain CVS. So you want to check in your local community which ones are participating. The drugs that you are not using, no longer need, you can do away with the drugs. It is to help prevent the misuse and abuse. And that's not our community. We don't sell drugs. Am I right?
Clean out, yes, that's right. We don't clean out your medicine cabinet from all that old medicine.
Okay, you see, I got one on my left and one on my right. Oh boy, here we go. And I did have to bring up opioids because we know that that's a huge epidemic. Now, opioids is used for severe pain that other medicine cannot bring under control. Now, that is a prescription drug. It's not over the counter. You're not going to be able to go to these drug stores and our local stores and be able to get that particular drug. What happens is people get hooked on that particular drug. Once their pain is far, far gone, you have no more pain, but you're still taking it. I'm sorry.
You're on the withdrawals if you don't take it.
But that's where the clinics come in at, right? They have specific clinics like methadone clinics and stuff like that for people that's really trying to wean off of the opiate medicine that, Ms. Vlard is talking about.
Well, we're trying to get this information before we get to that point of needing to be weaned off. Because what happens is, you take this particular drug longer than the doctor has prescribed. When you look up the effects from being on it too long, you're almost in a worse situation than when you started.
Than you were when you were in pain.
Insomnia, can't go to sleep. Who wants to be up 24 hours?
And what you have liver problems and the medicine eats certain anatomy part.
Yes.
And what happens when they cut the prescription off? When your doctor tells you you can't get
the patient get mad. You better give me my script.
Or they go on the street and get heroin.
I work with a pain management doctor.
We started to take over.
I actually work with and for a pain management doctor, and the way that people come in there looking for their medicine instead of being actually healed, him helping them heal them, they prefer medicine instead of the therapy that we try to provide for some of our patients. You know what I'm saying? And that's really messy.
So we're not going to talk about different ways, other ways that we can help ourselves without being on this particular medicine. It is very, very serious. Maybe I'll do a separate segment about opioids, but it is a prescription drug. If you have some laying around the house or your medicine cabinet or patients, if you're done with that particular medicine, please, CVS and Aetna partnered up to do away with that. That's why we call it National Prescription Take Back Day. Okay?
Okay. All right.
Yo, big ups too for all who tuned in, joined in with us on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Lou Monroe, Stephanie Harris, Edro Palmer. Yo, it's a bunch of us. You know what I'm saying? Jeff Cunningham.
The Organic Path with Lorrine is sponsored by
Organic Supplements LLC. .mywakaya, that's MYWAKAYA.com.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Vlard.
Hey, yo. And I want to say something. Okay. About the music.
Okay.
They might love me on this segment, this next one, but
You want to get them up in the air.
you guys might love me. Because you two, between you two, I feel like I'm the culprit.
Nah, no one's the culprit here.
We on your side. We on your side.
Opioids, oh.
You know, our couples went up there and our antennas was up
None
there.
of us use it.
Look, my boy Mike Brown said that was strong. We just said, he said strong with a fist.
All right.
This is still my city. Every city.
Love this song.
Yeah. I recognize it.
Okay. Like that. Nsoromma with the back over there.
Straight.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's my seed single that's out right now representing our city, Wilmington, Delaware. And it's going to go worldwide because it's in every city, what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Nsoromma. What's up, Mr. Gibbs?
What's up, brother?
Yo.
That song is for those that aren't catching it on Facebook Live, but over the air is My City by Nsoromma.
Yours truly, yours truly.
Bringing that positive
Yeah.
forth, right? All right. What
Hey,
you got
yo,
for me,
yo,
brother?
check it out. Today in the artist world, right?
Yes.
This is like I had a lot of younger kids coming to me because they see how I'm moving. You know what I'm saying? They see that I ain't really into the police and all that. They see I'm doing somewhat good, basically.
Doing positive things.
Right, positive things in the community. So they was asking me about the music business. So I'm gonna give them a little bit of the music business.
Okay.
So first of all, you have these new artists: Lil Pimp, Kodak Black, 6ix9ine, Chief Keef, Lil Yachty, Playboy Cardi, and Lil Uzi Vert.
Okay.
Now, all of these particular artists right now are in the limelight of the music industry because they were strategically put there. You understand?
Okay.
Now, these particular artists that I just named did a 360 deal. A 360 deal is when first, before the deals, you can do a deal. Okay, I want whatever, and then you come back and negotiate, and it was a negotiation thing. Now it's a 360 deal. If I sign you and you say, okay, I want $200,000. Now for that $200,000, I'm giving you a 360 deal, which means when you go out to anywhere, I'm getting paid, not you, because I bought you. I own you now. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So in a 360 deal, these little kids and these particular artists is not reading. So they get them. So anytime they do or go out and say the record company recoup all the money back that they get
put
to
out,
you.
right.
Right. So they'll do all these videos. They'll put you so far in the red that you can't even get back. These particular artists is owned now till they die. And a 360 deal is bad.
Yes,
So don't do it right. So don't do a 360 deal. Anytime you hear 360, no. That's a no. Okay? And also, a lot of them really don't know about the business. They don't know how to, copyright their material and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give you the forms that you need to get for a producer. A producer that creates music only, you need a sound recording form from the copyrights organization. And that's basically for your composition of melodies, your music. That's not the vocals. Okay? And then you also have the FA form and the PA form. Okay. So do your little bit of homework and go register copyrights and look up this information so you can know for yourself. Because I'm not going to break it all the way down for you because the show don't consist of that much time. And last but not least, you need to be registered with BMI or ASCAP. Yes, so indeed. You can be followed, so your money and your creations can come to you, not to whoever may be you're under or no one, because most of the people do a song and just start putting it out, and when it go worldwide and they don't see a dime. That's why. So
you gotta own your publishing.
Right, you gotta own your publishing. You gotta own your publishing. And now the paper version of the forms, you got the TX form, that's the literary works. You got the VA form, that's the visual art works, and you got the PA form, that's the performance arts, and then you got the SR form. So these 5 forms are definitely what you need to really get started. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Know your
Yes,
business,
sir.
and know the career you want to get in. Don't just jump into something that you don't know nothing about, and then your family won't. You work for your family to be, to
be all right.
Right.
The profit from your talent.
Right. For years to come, not now. You know what I'm saying? Because
setting up an inheritance.
Right. An inheritance is what they do as
children.
White people. They do it for the littlest thing.
Exactly. You're setting up an
right. So yeah, know your business in the music industry. That's all I got to say to like the upcoming artists that's really, really about the business. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Thank you for that knowledge, brother.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Getting that knowledge right
that's
here.
Right.
Ring the bell, stop the schools in. 95.3 FM.
That's right. That's good information. Very good information. Line it up.
Yeah, brother Nsoromma be doing it. That's implosion. That's Nsoromma and Smooth doing it on 95.3 FM. All right, we're coming around to the close of the show. We actually went a little over today, but we got so much information for you on the open eye. We're just trying to educate you. All right. Let me tell you something about the uniqueness of our experience as Black people. I've been here before, and I'm gonna have to go there again because some of us just don't get it. All right. Stop comparing yourselves to others and caping yourself and caping for other groups, because our experience, the experience of Black people in America, is completely, absolutely, and totally unique. Blacks are the only non-immigrants in this country. We're the only ones here by invitation, as dubious as that invitation was. Blacks are the only people, when I say that, Blacks are the only people that came here by force. No other people were packed in the holds of slave ships like cargo for months in filth and human waste and disease, millions lost in route. No other people arrived on the American shores to see their women raped and defiled, their men stripped of their manhood and any semblance of dignity. No other people had their heritage, culture, religion named in the most unifying force of any people, their language brutally beaten out of them by the slave master's lash. No other group of people suffered the horrors of plantation life, working from can't see in the morning till can't see at night, and again under the overseer's lash. Being forced to watch the slave master hang a young pregnant woman from a tree branch by her feet, her swollen belly slashed open with a sword, and the unborn child brutally snatched from her womb. Our common practice to instill fear in slaves. No other people saw their families torn asunder, their children sold off at the whim of the slave master. No other people suffered the indignities of Jim Crowism, segregation, discrimination, second-class citizenship, and legally sanctioned oppression. No other people have been terrorized not only by the Ku Klux Klan, but by marauding gangs of whites who could be stirred up to violence on the strength of a rumor and rampage through Black communities, indiscriminately committing murder and destruction with little or no fear of ever being brought to justice. No other people have been lynched, castrated, and mutilated. Northern people have been systematically denied the right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in America for Black people. The statues on campus be watching me, Washington, Jefferson clocking me, as if to say my time's up. But I don't run laps on tracks. I run laps around the scholars of tomorrow, because their new school of thought are only our history's borrowed. This is the Open Eye. I'm Pat Gibbs.
Nsoromma in the building.
Lorraine.
Yaga! WHGE 95.3 FM.
Wow. Yeah, I'm serious about that. Howard University.
That's what I said.
Who wants? We all want a clean community.
Of course.
That's beyond litter. Can't do that in Singapore.
Better not. All right. As I always tell you, remember, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you as an option. Patrice Gibbs, the Open Eye. All right, get your other things on.
That's about smoking.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Something.
95.3 FM. It is now time for Facts About Smoking from Lorrine Vlard. Lorraine?
Hello again, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, good afternoon.
Wagwan.
Well, today is, I'm going to have to revisit this one. And this one is, what is tar?
Oh, okay.
Really? Tar? Yeah, we need to talk about tar. I covered this one before, but this time I'm going to get just a little bit more in depth about tar. We're going to get into the meaning and the ingredients and what does it mean, because I really need people to hear what you are puffing, chewing, inhaling, sniffing. Remember, I talked about last week's snuff through the nasal cavity, how it messes up the lining.
Yeah.
It's real. So let's talk about tar. Okay. But I'm going to open up. What do we usually say, Pat?
What?
And Nsoromma?
Yeah.
1 pack a day. That's 365 days a year gives you how many cigarettes?
7,300.
Okay, but that's not us, right?
No.
No, we don't smoke.
I hate smoking.
Over 7,000 cigarettes. So I challenged someone this week to maybe just cut down on, just take some numbers away from that 7,300. And I also asked Pat, wow, how much do you spend on cigarettes?
Let me see. I'm gonna need my calculator.
Woo, but I'm telling you.
And you slowed down a little bit too, Pat. I remember you used to be like a chain smoker. Now you're not a chain smoker. That's good. Yeah. I see you doing good, homie.
Thank you, brother. I'm trying.
I'm proud of you, homie.
Yeah, well, that's good. You're proud of Pat, but I'm sorry. I'm going to go there today with tar. And I'm telling you, I can tell you what I can do with $7.50 a day. That looks very good in my bank account. But and that's on the low end, depending on where what kind you smoke, right? And where you go and get your cigarettes from. So here we go. What is tar? Okay. Tar is a sticky brown substance that is the main cause of lung and throat cancer in smokers. Tar can also cause slightly yellow brown stains on your fingers and your teeth. Who wants to see yellow teeth?
Fingers. Yo, no, someone would take his fingers.
Let alone smile. These are real things that happen when you do tar, okay, or on your teeth. No one wants to see yellow stains. I know I don't. Our bones are supposed to be white. Yes, our bones is the same as teeth. Okay, but tar is toxic and damages the smoker's lungs over a period of time through various biochemical and mechanical processes. Sorry about that. It's the burning of tobacco and other plant material. Wait a minute, did I say other plant material?
Yeah, I thought we were just smoking tobacco here.
Yeah,
It's tobacco.
well,
Right,
yeah, we're
okay.
smoking tobacco, but it's other plant material.
Okay.
They didn't really name that particular plant material.
Okay.
Because you know they hide that, like the orange, yellow 5 that's in like ingredients that you don't know what it is. They just say it's a yellow 5, and yeah. So
I see it on the pack.
that
like
could
you
be something real dangerous to your health.
said.
Yeah, we're talking about it. So if tar is so dangerous, why do they add tar? Why do they add it to? So it's found to be the most harmful and cancer-causing chemicals found in tobacco smoke.
Now, what I didn't know was the cigarette manufacturers were helped by the government to put this in play to get rid of some of the population, from what I was actually told back in the day. Well, I don't know. Is that a true situation?
I don't know.
Well, that's probably another segment, but yeah, that's
keep it working.
Yes.
Yes.
So when tobacco smoke is inhaled, the tar can form a sticky layer on the inside of your lungs. Okay.
Okay.
Sticky.
Okay.
Sticky. Okay. Not
That's
just passing through the
Then
smoke.
it stays there.
Yes. Sticky. So how much tar is in cigarettes? So we want to know how much do they put in cigarettes? The average lowered from 38 milligrams and 2.7 milligrams in nicotine. In 1954, it was only 12 milligrams.
Okay.
So we're talking about lower from 38 to 2. Yes. Okay. In 1954, they only used 12 milligrams. Okay, of tar and 0.995 of nicotine. And this remains the same as of November 2018. So that's a significant difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a cigarette.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't hear them talk about tar too much either.
Exactly. So, Pat, can you please we're going to pause for just a little bit, make the announcement of what you can listen to also later, coming on the radio station, 95.3.
On WHGE 95.3, coming up later today will be Ed's Sports Zone at 4 p.m. and also the Weekend Review with host Alan Lawrence. And as we have daily, our illustrious leader, Mr. Harmon Carey, with Black History Facts and Reflections. We'll be right back.
Okay, last week, Facebook Live. We just love our Facebook Live friends. Remember I talked about the natural repellent and how mosquitoes just love lavender scent.
I hate it.
Well, you don't have to walk around smelling like a lavender flower, but guess what? It keeps the bugs off.
I heard that.
Or helps.
That.
So you can do the lemon and eucalyptus, and you can find that right on my page at Organic Supplements LLC. www.mywakaya, MYWAKAYA.com. And remember, those that are allergic have very sensitive skin. Don't forget to order the carrier oil or the coconut. Okay?
Excuse me, Miss Vlard. Do you have anything that's good for like the muscles? My muscles be going through spasms and stuff like that because I was in a couple car accidents, and I'll be looking to rub on like certain. I don't want to smell like Bengay, dig me.
I feel you.
What you got?
I got you. We have Ruru cream, which is like Bengay, but it smells wonderful and helps with the pain immediately.
So you don't be smelling like old people.
Yes, you won't smell like old people.
Old people don't smell like
And our product is natural based, so it has lots of good ointment that's natural from the earth. So we have several things you'll be taken care of with our essential oils.
All right.
A rollerball that you can actually carry around and rub it right on the spot immediately.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna get back. Now back to smoking facts or facts on tobacco.
That's right.
With Lorrine Vlard.
Okay. So what I want to do is for tar, I really want to go over some ingredients, and I'm not going to rush through this because I need to do more. I'm not the kind of person to just tell you just stop smoking.
Right.
So I'm going to give you the facts, and we're going to go over some ingredients. For some, it might be painful because when you find out what's really in tobacco, hopefully you'll have different thoughts about smoking. And for some of you, hopefully you'll just throw your whole pack away and never smoke again. Right, Mr. Gibbs?
We hope so.
Okay, so let's go. Yeah, sorry to put you on the spot, Mr. Gibbs. But anyway, the first one, tobacco. Hydrogen cyanide. What is that?
Cyanide is poison.
Oh, yeah.
No, but remember, this is what we want to talk about. We want to talk about the ingredients that's in tobacco.
Okay.
So hydrogen cyanide is highly poisonous gas.
Okay.
But it's also like a lot more stuff than hydrocyanide, right?
Yeah.
Hydrogen cyanide, yes, it is. But okay, so it's almost like asphyxiation. You literally could bear enough of it. The inhalation alone, you could barely breathe.
So I don't understand why people want to smoke and be able to barely breathe anyway.
It's that N word that we're after, and the A, just like Pat said, nicotine. But we don't have addicts here. So, but anyway, let's go on. There's some more ingredients in tobacco. Formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde, that's used in gardening, ain't it?
Embalming fluid.
And embalming fluid, that's everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so these
As a
are
poison.
Exactly. So these are names that we hear a lot and we take for granted because we think it's only for the chemists. It's only for material that they're making. These are the true ingredients that's used in these particular things that we love doing. Spending time, my hobby, I don't have anything to do, I'm bored, so why don't I go outside and use some tobacco? I'm just sharing with you what's in it. So what is formaldehyde? One is a colorless gas. Colorless. Okay? Can't really see the color.
Right.
Methanol. Okay, don't we have methanol clinics?
Yeah.
Okay, right? You mentioned it earlier, Nsoromma, methanol. And also formaldehyde is used in alcohol. I know we're not talking about alcohol today, but remember, it's colorless. Which alcohol, I'm not sure just yet. I don't drink, but it's used in alcohol.
And I think that's in all alcohol, because alcohol, to make alcohol, you need formaldehyde.
Yeah.
This is what's going in our lungs, in our body. These are just 2 of the ingredients. Some of them are so long, I would probably need another separate segment to really go through some of these ingredients that's in it.
That's crazy.
Okay. Lead
is in tobacco.
Tobacco. Lead is in tobacco.
The brain damage. The brain damage.
Okay, lead. Isn't that when you purchase your home,
it has to be lead free.
No, exactly. No other, there's one document that realtors have you to sign when you purchase or even when you sell. What document is that in the question that they want to know?
It's lead free.
Is it lead free? Absolutely. But guess what?
What?
Do they ask you in your tobacco before you purchase?
Or do you ask?
Or do you ask, exactly, thank you, Pat, for helping me. Is it lead in this tobacco wrap? I'm not sure the names that they call your little, well, I start say joint, I'm sorry. But
cigarette. Look, but when they purchase the pack of cigarettes, the Surgeon General says these will kill you.
Yeah.
On the cigarettes. Yeah. So I mean, how in your face can that be?
Yeah, it's right there in your face.
For you, it's so in your face that you don't believe it.
Yeah. You ignore it. That's
right. Ignore it. You ignore it.
Yeah. Exactly. I know you are right, Nsoromma. These things are ignored, but it really exists. And when they do a commercial, not on TV, that should be red flags right there. Not on TV, but on the radios, commercials, they speed up the part of what's in it and what it can cause, the side effects.
Big surprise. They don't want you to know that.
They speed it up, and rightfully so. Why would I want to let you know the ingredients that's in it? I can't even hear the announcements. So that's why I'm bringing to you the exact ingredients that's in tobacco. And we're talking about what these things does to your body. Well, that's another segment as well, but here are the ingredients.
So what else in there besides lead?
Okay, we still have some more to go. So it's arsenic.
Yo, you're naming you're naming really all of the poisonous ingredients that is in the world right now in this particular one cigarette.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And remember a while back, yeah, very, but these are the facts, and that's why I wanted to I did the history of who started this, and when they started making the cigarettes and rolling them and growing and pulverizing and dried tobacco, they've, of course, over a period of time, they've even put more ingredients, and they saw the addiction. And we're making money.
Right. They saw the money. They didn't even see the addiction. They saw the American money.
Yep. That's what they saw.
Well, the addiction is very, very important, because on one of the ingredients, let me tell you what they use to boost the addiction.
What's that?
Ammonia.
Ammonia boosts the addiction. Ammonia?
Yo, did you ever smell ammonia, man?
Yeah. It'll knock you out.
It'll hurt you, yeah. And mess with your eyes. I mean, it's so powerful. That's really, ammonia is serious.
No.
Did you know ammonia was one of the ingredients in tar?
No, I didn't.
Believe it. It's in there. That is the ingredient, the key ingredient that they use to boost your addictions.
Wow.
So they got a way to make you come back and buy the cigarette. Yo, now that's serious, man.
That is.
How many of us remember growing up, our mother or someone in the house used ammonia?
I do. Like I said, it knock you out.
Knock you out, and ammonia burns my nose
Right.
every single time. There is nothing that you can cover up or put over your nose with ammonia in the house.
No.
Actually, like paramedics and stuff like that use ammonia breaks when you knocked out and they wake you up. They crack the little thing and they put it in your face. That is ammonia. That's waking you up out of your self conscious.
Yeah, after you're unconscious.
Yeah, after you're unconscious. Yeah,
it'll wake you up too.
Yes, ammonia is very, very powerful. So I just thought maybe you all should know that particular ingredient. Now there's another
one
ingredient.
Girl, yo, that's about seven killer ingredients. Right there.
No, and I already warned you and Pat that I am going to go over the ingredients because some of us don't know, some of us do, but I need to make the announcement, make it loud and clear, the ingredients that's used in tobacco. We're not going to just fly through this like I did the first time. We're going to really talk about it. So you'll know exactly what's in it, what you're smoking and puffing and blowing in your face and in other faces. And
so that's what makes secondhand smoke so dangerous, more dangerous.
Yes.
Yo, I try to be courteous, even though I'm a smoker. I try to be courteous and not be blowing my smoke in other people's faces.
Yes, we will do side stream. Okay, so the other ingredient that I want to mention is uranium.
Yo, they put that in a bomb.
Yeah, they put that in nuclear bomb.
No, the nuclear. Yo, that's what they saying though. The cigarette is a bomb for your body. Yo, that's messy.
I'm have to get these up, y'all.
Yo, I support that.
I'm putting it right here.
So Pat said, so you all heard it on the air. Pat said that he's about to, or you said you are.
He's thinking about it. I heard thinking about it.
Oh, wait a minute.
I know I need to. I do know I need to.
So he's thinking about it.
I'm working on it.
So he's thinking about it. So our Facebook Live family, I want to challenge, even not just our Facebook Live, but to the audience that's listening. I want to see who can put up and online how many of you have stopped by even just one cigarette.
Cut down.
I mean, I really would like to know.
Hashtag one less cigarette. Hashtag one less cigarette. The Open Eye Radio show.
Yes, and if you don't mind sharing, that would be great. I would love to see, because I've done many segments on cigarette smoking, and it was a little bit uncomfortable at first to some, but by request, that particular subject is very, very important and dear to our leaders, the owner, Mr. Harmon Carey, and the Delaware Lung Association. So that is, it's brought to you by Delaware Lung Association. And we just really want to put the information out there, what you are smoking. I want to let you know the ingredients and the allergies. I talked about allergies, but some of us still find our way to smoke. We're sniffling and coughing and choking and still allergies acting up, and we still smoke. So just want to bring that to your attention. But yes, as Nsoromma said, uranium, it is radioactive. Radioactive.
That's crazy.
Okay. Now there's more, I'm quite sure, in tobacco. Some of the names I probably won't be able to announce. So there you go. If you cannot pronounce names, ingredients, there's questions and a problem right there. If you do not know the ingredients and what you're eating, what you're drinking, that's very important to me. Sometimes it takes me some time shopping because I do like to know the ingredients and what I'm buying, what I'm purchasing.
All right.
So last but not least, let's recap. Okay. tar that is absorbed by the lungs can cause lung cells to die. We don't want our lung cells to die.
No, indeed.
We want our lung cells to live. Lungs is a very, very important organ in our body.
Mm-hmm.
If our lungs suffocate, like I said, asphyxiation, that means stop breathing.
Right.
That's one of the ingredients. What good would you be to your family if you stop breathing? Some of those ingredients, as I named the first one, hydrogen cyanide. Okay, it's just like asphyxiation with a certain amount that's used. Yes, a high dose. Okay. How long does it take for lungs to heal from smoking if you choose to stop smoking? Within 2 weeks after the first 72 hours, your peak withdrawal, you can handle that. Okay, we talked about this before. Symptoms will noticeably subside. Although the cravings can still persist, in the days and weeks that follow, you should start breathing easier as the air sacs begins to relax. So that's major. So if you can get through just a small, I know it might seem like a long hours and hours and hours through that withdrawal period. But if you can get through those 72 hours, your air sacs and your lungs can possibly heal. If you're considering stop smoking.
Right. All right. All right. And Facts About Smoking is sponsored by
the Delaware Lung Association. Is brought to you by, yes, the Delaware Lung Association.
Right here on WHGE 95.3 FM. Thank you, Ms. Vlard.
Thank you very much for allowing me to share.
I know we made it hard.
Talking about tar.
Yeah.
You're telling me that ammonia? Yes. Ammonia is in tar.
I spelled that wrong. Let me get that right here. Shit. This is keyboard.
Is it sticking?
Yeah. One less. Hashtag one less. No, it's the T. One less cigarette. Hashtag one less cigarette.
Oh, good.
Right? So, this will be up this video will be up all week, for our Facebook friends and what have you. And if you have a story about how you quit smoking, hit one less cigarette, hashtag one less cigarette on our page, and let us know what your story is. All right. And with that being said, I'm going to end the live video. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and for especially checking in on Facebook. And let me get that in there.
Shout out to Sherry. She's always
That's my homegirl down in Georgia.
First one.
She on the case. That's word. And all the other people that joined us.
Exactly. From wherever you are.
Gary, the Rock Day Hop.
Hi, everyone.
And
Thailand.
Yes. My girl
South Africa.
South Africa. My girl Nina over there. As word. So thanks for joining us. This is the Open Eye.